Hi, welcome to One Word a Day. I'm Sophie, your pilot into the universe of Chinese. We are going to continue our journey in exploring or discovering a new Chinese expression a day. Yesterday, we talked about paranoia, which was translated as 被害妄想. It's delusionally thinking that you are being harmed, forced harm on you. So basically, and we continue with 想 this character in 幻想曲. Okay, we'll have three characters here, and you can kind of see, because it's a three, it's not really time honored Chinese expression, mostly four. I call them magic fours, because normally with four characters, we can piece together a pretty cohesive meaning unit. So 幻想曲 is a contemporary expression. 换, okay. Because I started learning simplified Chinese, I only need to memorize, okay, 换, pronounced like this, written like this, but I don't know exactly what it's made out of, like why it's written like that. Until I started this channel to really look at the language I'm taught, like I was born into. I was taught in a certain way, but people like my language teachers, Chinese teachers, they don't have all the knowledge. And thanks to internet, I can search and educate myself first. And now I'm sharing with you. And if something doesn't make sense, come up and share your view. Oh, welcome. I'm not a scholar in this. I'm just digging a little bit further along with you. So 换, it came in this shape. It's two triangles flipped, overlapped, and with a tail or chimney on the top like that. I'm like, what? This is kind of a geometry with, like, if it doesn't have this tip thing, I can say, oh, this is just a geometrical shape, and some language creators make it to look some way, right? But with this, I don't know how to think about it because it's not symmetrical. And this, like how to interpret that. So according to some scholars, this meaning 幻, illusionary or illusory, came from this character flipped 180 degrees. I mean, how advanced is that? They have this flipping in language creation as well. Surprise, right? So this character then comes to, okay, what does that mean? We have, again, these two triangles, except that's this up tilting thing becomes like a tail hanging downward, like leftward tilting. So what that means? This originally came from kind of a gift giving. So I guess it's kind of like two hands, according to scholars. The two triangle shape means kind of you can see it's kind of pointing toward each other, right? So it's like a mutually. So mutual is a gift giving thing. So mutually, you're facing each other, supposedly transferring something. Gosh, some neighborhood saying from one hand to another. And I don't exactly know what this tail does here. Probably, supposedly, that's like the your upper arm, like one person's upper arm, to make it not just a simple, like abstract two triangles overlapping over there. So this from gift giving, eventually means a self used as a self-referral. So we have a ton of ancient Chinese way of referring self. We have this loose rope thing. I call it kind of your own rope. You need to wrap together all the loose threads in your life to make it cohesive story of yourself, right? So you're that rope. And we have nose, like the center of your face. That's the most physically direct self-referral, pointing to your own nose. And we have this symbol from gift giving. Somehow it was extended into referring self. So in ancient Chinese passages or texts, oftentimes the author would use this, pronounced as yu. So yu, blah, 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 yu, do something, do something. So that's self-referral, kind of like I guess. And so this I now flipped 180 degrees like that. All of a sudden it becomes illusory. Like how to understand that? So I guess this is kind of a philosophical construct of human self-view. So if you view yourself upside down, or like if you can see yourself from another angle, either from inward, outward, or outward, inward, or from yourself to the universe and from the universe to yourself. So if you can, in your mind, flip the concept of yourself around, I mean, that flipping is the source of illusionary creation. So we kind of flip the concept. So it's probably a distorted or flipped self-identity or self-understanding, self-awareness. It's flipped. That's the best I can make. So this is the kind of, I pull a thread pointing to this yu, self-referral. And now we can see they are visually indeed 180 degrees flipping. And that's how it got this inferred meaning of when we know this means yourself. And if a flipped yourself, that's your misconcepted, misperceived self. So that becomes illusory. Okay, that's enough of that. 想, again, we have this heart symbol, a chamber, and plus 3 tubes coming out of it. That's our heart visual representation. And then we have this wood symbol, the canopy on the top, and this arch at the bottom to show there is space from the canopy to the ground. That's our tree symbol. And then we have this eye symbol that's kind of opening with 2 horizontal lines, which is the border between the iris and the eyeball. And the eye next to the wood, kind of observing, looking closely at the wood. So that's like observation. And then we have the heart, which is the processing of information from that intake. You're going to process that. So combined together, this is our concept of think. So you see something and you're trying to process that information. That's our think. Pretty accurate, right? I would say. Okay, so 取 come from, oh my God, almost like a horseshoe shape of this U shape. And whoever created, I don't know, like this person probably knows some kind of engineering. If we wanted to put a tube together, make a U curve tube, I guess that's the pieces put together to fit that, right? Even this angle cutting like 45 degrees, like that looks like tubing connectors, right? To make this U shape. So I don't know, ancient engineering stuff. And this was originally means just the U shape, like it's not a straight line. It's like that. Because we do have like natural phenomenon like rivers that's not going straight. It's going like this, like visually like that. So somebody created that. And in the contemporary Chinese, kind of simplified, this is too hard to draw. And you have to draw it kind of symmetrically, right? So this is much, much easier. But it's kind of visual representation of that curve shape. Okay, so from that curve, that not a straight line, it was eventually extended to melody, because melody is a pitch over time. That's not a straight line. It's not a monotone. It's not a mono pitch, basically. It got different variations, right? Ups and down, and in different rhythm. And that's what's created over time, melody. So Chinese, a lot of times they will grab this essential meaning and extend it, the same meaning, apply it to different settings, but essentially it's the same. Whoever come up with that shape, visual shape of U curve, also eventually people find out, oh, this is comparable to the music, to this we hear audibly over the air over time. That's kind of like the river flowing over time in a curved shape. So that's all melody. And that eventually that meaning becomes more dominant because, I mean, hey, melody, music is more related to human everyday life than, I don't know, a U-curved shape. So illusionary thinking melody is a translation of Fantasia. Is that how it's pronounced? So it's a genre of music, of kind of a loosely connected, kind of a random thought, random thinking. So this is random melody and not really structured, and a kind of a play on the go, kind of improvised in classical music, I guess. And that is a Western concept. And that was translated to Chinese. And we thought maybe Fantasia translate to like illusion, like a twisted reality, right? We have this twisted reality, and then we have this thinking, like a meandering, random thoughts, like wandering thoughts, right? And then we have qu also have this curvy meaning. So, okay, there we go. The visual, I choose some random curves and to hope to capture this distortion. It's not a straight line, it's curved, and it's random. It's not, you cannot summarize it into some model or pattern. It's hard to summarize, right? And that's what Fantasia probably is sounds to the ear. It's hard to analyze. It's random. It's improvised. It's not structured. But I guess it has its own rules and ways and methods, right? And habits and rituals and classicals. So, but I think Chinese 幻想曲 did a good job in translating that randomness, that curvature, that change, that hard to summarize. I mean, it's a human creation, right? Our mind is kind of a rendering thoughts all the time. So if we put that into music and put that into the words, like 幻想曲, that's a very good capturing of the sense of just like that visual. All right, cash into the currency of thinking by one word a day with Sophie. See you another day.